Good evening and thank you for joining us on this Friday. I'm Rob Caldwell. Samantha York is off this evening. Coming up tonight on 207, did you know that there are now apps that read tarot cards and artificial intelligence that offers spiritual guidance? It's a strange world out there where technology and mysticism intersect. Our tech guy Rich Brooks is here to help guide us through it. And later this half hour, the kids are out of school for the summer. And if you're looking for ideas for breakfast, Chef Byrne has you covered. He's going to show us different ways to make buttermilk pancakes. But first, whether you're opening a store on Main Street or launching an online Etsy shop, starting your own business takes some courage, especially when starting that business means starting over. Luckily for one woman in Maine, bravery and starting over are two things she knows well. And as Sam reports, she's using her own story and small business to help other women rewrite their own stories.
Growing up, Autumn Schmidt's mother always wanted to instill a sense of strength in her daughter.
So my mom had been through domestic violence situations, and I'm an only child, and she just said, like, my daughter is going to know how to defend herself and take care of herself.
At first, that strength came from karate.
So I was very committed. I spent all of my high school career. I played basketball in high school, but really karate was my focal point.
What did you like about it?
Everything. We also studied Muay Thai, kickboxing, jiu-jitsu, judo. I boxed. We did a lot of things. And what I loved is I loved the structure, but I loved the empowerment. I learned that my body could be used as a weapon if needed, and it was powerful.
After high school, Autumn apprenticed at a hair salon and quickly realized it wasn't the right fit.
One day I was just done. So on a Friday, I quit. And on Monday, I enrolled into Thomas College for criminal justice.
Autumn would go on to get her master's in criminal justice and was eventually hired by the Kennebec County Sheriff's Office as a court security deputy.
Got to know judges. It was my job to protect them as well as other court personnel. And then I was doing transport. And so that was a highly stressful job. I would transport inmates all across the state by myself, and sometimes it was 8 to 10 men and me.
From there, Autumn was hired by the Augusta Police Department, where she completed her training at the police academy. A few years and police departments later, an injury on the job left her feeling hopeless.
And I wish I had this really cool story to be able to be like, I was doing this thing and this happened. That's not what happened. I have a herniated, torn, and degenerative disc all on my lowest back. Overnight, essentially, my doctor was like, yeah, so you're done. I became very depressed. I was couch-ridden for 6 months. I was in physical therapy for 5 days a week. I couldn't sit for long periods of time. I couldn't stand for long periods of time. So I was really in a pretty depressed state. And then I met Tony Robbins. Not really, I just met him online.
I think you need 3 skills. Skill 1, you get good at the science of, or just the recognition of patterns.
Tony Robbins is a highly acclaimed motivational speaker known for his high energy and business strategies.
So once you understand patterns, you have less fear because the world is in chaos anymore.
I watched his videos and his clips, and I just said, you know what? I can't be the only person that has gone through this or is going through something.
Autumn wanted to take her background in law enforcement and martial arts and turn it into a way to help other women feel strong.
Welcome to the She's an Asset podcast.
That's where the idea for She's an Asset was born. What started as a podcast connecting outside listeners to the inside world of law enforcement has bloomed into a women's empowerment business.
If you are ready to become the most powerful version of yourself, then this is for you.
I've spent a lot of time in disempowerment. That's the truth. And I think that's why I'm just really focused on teaching women that it's right here.
Autumn is now helping other women find their inner strength by teaching self-defense and spatial awareness courses, as well as personal development seminars.
One of the barriers to self-defense is if a woman wants to learn how to fight, she's going to go to a martial arts dojo or a school or a club, and she's going to learn how to fight. I have a lot of women who just want to know how to protect themselves, but don't necessarily want to go roll around on the mats, and there's nothing wrong with that. So I put them in chairs.
Turn around, break your knee, go.
I'm bringing in your body. I'm bringing in your mind. I'm bringing in your intuition. It's really what has helped me to overcome really hard things in my life and to be able to keep going. I call it failing forward.
By using her own experiences with body image, bullying, and being able to defend herself, Autumn is hoping to inspire the next generation of empowered women and beyond.
I hear a lot of women say that it's just easier to go with the flow. We've all been told to be nice, right? Be nice. Can you just quiet down, stop overreacting. We have a slogan, and she's an asset, and it's called Stay Difficult. And the idea is staying difficult is just listening to your intuition. Let's be true to you. And that is you staying difficult. But if you can just listen to your gut, that can save your life.
To learn more about She's an Asset and any events Autumn has coming up, we have a link on our News Center Maine website and app. And here's a quick self-defense tip for you from Autumn. Get a bracelet-like keychain to attach to your keys. Hold the keychain, and when you fling your keys forward, they can be used as a weapon. Up next on this Friday, 207 Tech guy Rich Brooks joins us. He's talking about how AI companies are now getting into the spiritual and mystic space. Stay with us. We'll be back right after this. Technology and mysticism may seem to be at opposite ends of the spectrum, but perhaps they have more in common than you would believe. From apps that read tarot cards to artificial intelligence that offers spiritual guidance, technology is wading into the mystical end of the pool. To help us navigate this fascinating and sometimes controversial development, we turn to our tech guy, Rich Brooks from Flight New Media. Good to see you, Rich. Thanks for coming in.
Always good to be here.
All right, so I'm one of those people, and there are a lot of them, I think. They think technology is over here in one area, mysticism is over here in the other, and there's not much overlap, if any. What are we getting wrong here?
Well, I think people have always searched for answers, for meaning in their lives, and hopefully to see what's coming in the future. Historically, mystics have used things like the stars or tea leaves to find patterns, to give answers, and hopefully predict the future. And today we've got social media algorithms and artificial intelligence that are really good at pattern recognition to provide answers and to forecast probable outcomes. So when you think about it, these two seemingly disparate camps are really much closer than you might believe.
All right, not surprisingly, the trail leads to apps. There are apps that sort of tap into mysticism and offer enlightenment. What did you find when you looked into this?
Well, Rob, there are more mystical apps than there are stars in the sky. Probably not, but really good segue into astrology, which is one of the main topics that are out there. I discovered CoStar, which is an app that uses NASA data, sounds very scientific, to create your natal chart, which is basically the arrangements of the planets on the moment that you were born. Uses that information to create daily horoscopes, as well as to make recommendations and even tell you when you're in alignment or not with your friends and colleagues. There's both a free and a paid version. The paid version has more features. It also comes with a fair bit of snark, whether using the free or the paid version as well.
Right.
And there's another app I found called Sanctuary, and this actually connects you with human astrologers, psychics, and tarot readers, either by voice or text. Think about having it like a spiritual advisor on demand.
All right, we started the conversation by talking about artificial intelligence. That, of course, leads everyone these days to ChatGPT. Is it involved in this kind of spiritual guidance?
It absolutely is. There are people creating AI agents like AI Baba Vanga, which was trained on the writings and voice of this well-known prognosticator that people are using to predict things that are going to happen in 2026. There's also another app I discovered called the Divine Whisper, and what this one does is it uses AI-powered astrology and tarot readings so that users can ask specific questions about their own lives and get personalized guidance based on their birth charts.
That all sounds like the kind of stuff that's been around for centuries without technology, but are there legitimate concerns that people should have about these uses?
There have been a number of news stories recently about something called spiralism, this cult-like belief that comes from people who are spending hours and hours talking to the AI. And when they're spending that much time with ChatGPT or Claude and they start asking more mystical or spiritual questions, because the AI is so good at pattern recognition and providing answers that sound coherent, they feel like they're getting some sort of cosmic secret and spiritual guidance that they're probably not. In fact, psychologists have warned that when this happens, people can really think that they're seeing some external truth, but in fact, they're just getting their own beliefs mirrored back at them.
How about those folks who are looking for guidance, they're looking for direction, inner peace, but they want to stay away from that kind of really out there woo-woo stuff?
Yeah.
Are there places they can go?
There definitely are. So if you like something that's a little bit more science-backed, something like meditation or mindfulness, there's plenty of apps. I've been using the app Headspace for over a decade now, which is a meditation app with a number of guided meditations and daily meditations. I don't use it as often as I could, but when the monkeys in my brain are screaming louder than normal, I find it helps me find my inner calm. And then there's another app called the Mindfulness Coach that was actually developed by the VA. And it was meant for veterans and service members and actually the general public who want to practice their mindfulness.
So, all things considered, where do you come down? Are you a believer in using technology for mysticism?
I would say I'm a little bit more on the skeptic side, but I'm also not ready to say it's all bunk. Like, I believe in aliens, but Rob, if you told me yesterday you were abducted by aliens and you want to show me your crop circles, probably going to roll my eyes and pass. So I would say that I think that there's a lot of stuff going on in this universe that our science can't yet explain. As Fox Mulder said, I want to believe.
The answers are out there. We just don't have them yet. Not all of them. Great segment. Rich, thanks as always.
Thank you.
Rich Brooks from Flight New Media. More information on Flight and some of the things that he's been talking about in the 207 section of our app or website. Stay with us. We'll return right after this.
There's an old saying that breakfast is the most important meal of the day, and here to show us how to really do it is Chef Byrne. Thanks so much for being here with us.
Thanks for having me, yeah.
We're making something simple and like a signature dish today, pancakes.
Yes, we're making some pancakes, and we're gonna do a slight spin on traditional. We're gonna do a buttermilk pancake. So I love buttermilk pancakes, so what we're gonna do in order to make those, step one is we're gonna add a little bit of buttermilk. I have in this bowl here some egg and some oil.
Okay.
I'm gonna add a little bit of buttermilk and some regular milk. The buttermilk is going to do a few things. It's going to add a little bit of extra flavor to the pancakes. And the acid in it is also going to help kind of kickstart the baking powder that's the leavening agent in these and just help to make these even fluffier than normal traditional pancakes.
Hey, we're all for that.
So what I have here, I have the flour mixed in, and I have a little bit of the baking powder and the sugar and the salt. And one of the keys when you're mixing your pancake batter is you don't want to over mix it. I think so often when you're mixing this in the bowl, you can't resist the urge to want to think it has to be smooth.
Exactly.
And
that's not the case.
That's not the case. And in fact, if you do that, that's going to create really flat pancakes. So you want to leave some lumps in there. You almost want to leave a couple pieces of flour that look like they're not quite mixed in.
Okay.
That's really the goal.
I did not know that.
And so here we have some that are already cooking, and I'll drop a few more right on the griddle here as well. You could do these in a cast iron pan or some kind of a flat top if you have. I'm using kind of a countertop model here. And I've got a few that are at this stage now where it's about halfway through the cooking process that you want to maybe add something to the pancakes if you're going to. So in this one here, I'm going to do a savory pancake with some scrambled egg and cheddar and bacon and scallion. And then we can do some here with a little bit of some Maine blueberry. We can add some chocolate chips to them like this.
Oh my gosh.
And they'll start to just settle right in there. And then once they start to rise, you'll see right around the edge, it'll almost be telling you that it's ready to go as it starts to have a natural curve.
Yep.
And then you just want to kind of gently come in here and flip them just like so.
That one.
Look at that. And you can do the fun thing about these, those ones aren't quite ready.
Okay.
The fun thing about these is this is almost kind of like calzone night at the house where everybody can do their own kind of personal thing.
Yeah.
If you're into blueberries and strawberries, that can be what it is. I've got some really fun variations of some different stuff that I've done in the past here where you could do like a Boston cream short stack where you could add some vanilla pudding.
Oh my gosh.
And then kind of do a little bit of something like that and a little chocolate ganache over the top. And just really make these really epic, memorable pancakes, something like this.
That looks so good. I call this one. That looks
Yeah.
so good.
We could do that just like that. Blueberries could have a little bit of, maple syrup added to them like this. Some fresh whipped cream. I macerated some strawberries earlier too. If you've ever had strawberry shortcake before,
Yep.
you've had that. So these strawberries were just tossed with a little bit of sugar and then just sat for a few moments, and then again just topped with some of that fresh whipped cream like that.
That looks
Not too
delicious.
much, not too much sugar in the cream because I kind of put it already in the strawberries.
Yeah.
If you're doing chocolate chip pancakes, maybe you come at it here with a little bit of this Nutella butter, 50-50 Nutella and butter on top of there. Those just melt. Maybe we'll add a little bit of extra chocolate chip just to kind of show them off.
Perfect. Perfect.
And then we've got here this bacon and scallion.
Look
that
at
out.
that.
So these can be savory. You can do these whatever you have. If you had some sausage at the house, use that right up.
That looks so good. And there's something here for everybody.
Everybody, and whatever you could think of too. The possibilities are really limitless. If you want to do a poppy seed and lemon, if you want to do orange and cranberry, go whatever. And here we have a little bit of that curve. It's starting to stick here a little bit.
Yep.
Beautiful.
Nice.
Just like that.
And then you don't even really need the side or anything because it's all right in the bag.
It's already right in there. And so yeah, now if you want to, you could kind of come in at the end and with some of these, once again, add maybe just a little bit of this finishing sugar right over the top.
Beautiful.
You don't really need too much. Just like that.
Oh, man.
A little bit of mean maple syrup. Fresh berries.
Look at these.
What else do you need?
A fork and a knife.
We have that. We can get that for you. Those are close by.
Oh my gosh. Okay, you have plenty to choose from here. We're gonna have the recipe, the instructions, everything right in the 207 section of our website. Thanks so much for coming in.
You're welcome.
Showing us how to make this. Stay with us, 207 is back right after this.
Coming up Monday on 207, Haley McAvoy is a singer and songwriter who will be presenting a show in Maine next month called Holy Unwinding. Haley's life has been shaped by cerebral palsy, which affected her legs in particular. A few years ago, she had a profound experience as she listened to her body in a way she never had before.
And so that's all the songs in Holy Unwinding are songs that basically feel like they came from my legs.
What did it feel like to you when this was happening?
It felt wild. To really know what it felt like, come see the show, because that's what it's all about.
A preview of a performance that just might be like nothing you've seen in Maine before. That's Monday on 207. And if you ever miss any of our stories on 207, you can catch any of our recent episodes at any time on our new Center Maine streaming app. You can download it for free and stream it on your TV. It is available on Roku, Amazon Fire, and Apple TV. Thanks so much for being with us this week here on 207. Again, if you ever miss any of our stories, you can catch them on the app. Check them out. You can catch the full episode as well. We've had some good stories this week, so we hope you get a chance to see them. Enjoy your weekend, the last one in June, and we'll see you back here Monday at 7 for another 207.